Hey YouTube! All month long I've been talking about anorexia recovery and discussing tips, tricks, and tools to help you along your recovery from anorexia. On Monday, you might have seen the video about challenging the eating disorder voice in your head. So I thought today in our Thursday therapy tip video, I would talk to you about how to practice self-compassion. Self-compassion is a really important part of challenging that mean, nasty, critical voice in your head. Hey y'all, I'm Dr. Stephanie Waite with the Recovery Academy, where every week I bring you no bullshit tips, tricks, and tools to help you kick some recovery ass. All month long, I've been talking about anorexia recovery, and in today's Thursday therapy tip, I'm talking about how you can practice being kinder to yourself today. So I hear this all the time, that self-compassion is really hard because you feel like you have to like yourself, or you feel like you have to believe the things that you're telling yourself to be able to practice being kind. Well, that's a really all or nothing, black or white thought, and it's not helpful, because as long as you think that, you're going to be mean and critical and judgmental to yourself. You don't have to believe you are awesome to start being kind to yourself. This is something you can start practicing today. So what is self-compassion? It's really just this big long term to mean you're nice to yourself. You treat yourself with the same kindness and respect and gratitude and love sometimes as you treat somebody else. I think even sometimes we're nicer to strangers on the street than we are to our own selves. So that's all it is it's just treating yourself the way that you treat everybody else. You've heard of the golden rule, certainly. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Self-compassion is treating yourself the way that you treat everybody else. It's just being a little bit nice to yourself. And don't get this twisted. You're not lying to yourself when you're being compassionate. You just don't have a framework in your brain for being kind to yourself. That's why you've got to practice it. The more you practice it, the stronger that little pathway that will be stronger, and it will be easier for you to be nice to yourself. So it's not lying to yourself, even though it feels like that, especially in the beginning. So I'm not going to take credit for knowing all of this self-compassion stuff. There's this gal, Kristin Neff. She's really awesome. She's a professor. She's a researcher, and she's the queen of self-compassion. And we can be nice to ourselves, but when we feel like we've screwed up or we've messed up or we're in some type of challenge or judgmental state, we find it harder to be compassionate to ourselves. So certainly being in recovery from anorexia is one of those times when it feels like it's hard to be nice to yourself. So here's how you can start being kind to yourself. Start practicing self-compassion per the queen, Kristin Neff. So instead of judging yourself, saying like you shouldn't have done that and you coulda, that shoulda, coulda, woulda stuff, and that nagging and that blame and that guilt and that shame, that's criticism. Instead of being self-critical and self-judgmental, be kind to yourself. I always talk to clients about, what was your intention? Okay, maybe you screwed up and maybe you made some mistakes, so you want to take accountability for that, but was your intention to screw up? Was your intention to do something wrong? No, it wasn't. It was a simple mistake, and you're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to screw up. We all make mistakes. We all screw up. It's part of being human, which is the second part of practicing self-compassion. Realizing that you're not alone. All of us mess up. I mess up more times a day than I can keep track of. We all screw up all of the time. So being imperfect is part of being human, and it's okay. So then step 3 is being mindful and staying in the moment instead of going to that really over-analyzing place. You know how you really try to roll it over and think about what you did and try to really analyze it and understand why you did it and what happened. And it's really just a way to tame anxiety and overthink something, and it ends up making you feel worse. That's a way of avoiding and really accepting what's going on. So mindfulness says, you know what? I screwed up. I did. My intention wasn't to screw up. I made a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes. It's okay. I can learn from this mistake. And here's what I'm gonna do to learn to move forward. Mindfulness is really just kind of staying in that moment and saying, you know what? I'm okay. I'm allowed to screw up in my past, and I'm able to learn from it, and I'm able to move forward and do differently next time. So let's review the 3 steps to self-compassion per Kristen Neff. Step 1 is to be kind to yourself. Step 2 is to remember that we all make mistakes. We are human, and mistakes is part of our daily humanness. And then step 3 is to be mindful and in the moment instead of overanalyzing and thinking about what happened in the past. Practice that as much as you can, and the more you do it, the kinder you will be to yourself. Because I've been talking about anorexia recovery all month long, I've got a bunch of links for you to check out below with some more videos to watch on things you can do to recover from anorexia, but there's also a lot of free resources there for you. So check out all of that while you're here. And while you're here, why don't you like this video if you found it helpful, give it that thumbs up, and hit that subscribe button. New videos come every single week, and I never want you to miss another one. On Mondays, you get a coaching video, and on Thursdays, you get your therapy tip. And please feel free to comment. You're not bothering me if you reach out and comment and ask questions or share below. I want to know about you so that I can keep giving information that is helpful to you. So go be kind to yourself today. Good luck. I'll see you around real soon. Bye.